So, just going to wait till I start seeing people pop in and just talk to myself until they do. There we go. One down, a bunch to go. Y'all want to see that good pot? Tools of the trade. If we can get a better camera pose. We can kind of see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's not really working either. Give me just a second. Get this worked out right so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Got a board, we're putting some components on it. Building a Harp Attack effects overdrive pedal for harmonica. I like that name, OG Slump. That's pretty cool. There we go. Got a vacuum tube put on it. These are so stinking cool because we get them. We used to get them from Russia. Now we gotta get them wherever we can get them, thanks to their stupid war. But coolest overdrive pedals ever. I love these things. They were used in hearing aids because Russia, or more accurately the Soviet Union, they use vacuum tubes a lot longer. What's up, yo? From Nashville? And Anthony, you do jujitsu? Heck yeah, man. Ah, yeah, Trump 2025. I'm digging it. I mean, they would have to really do something stupid by this point to not get elected. But yeah, we the Russians used vacuum tubes a whole lot longer than America did. They used them all the way up into the 80s. And so, hey Peyton, I could totally give a shout out to Peyton. And so, some of the best vacuum tubes come from Russia. Here's some I like to use in my amplifiers. They're like 12AX7s, except they're, not. They're wired a little differently, and they use 6 volts instead of 12. Ah, thank you. Usually my information is useless. Can I say Jack? Yeah, I could say, hey, Jack. What's up, Jack? Man, this is the most people I've ever had on a live. Usually I only get like 2 or 3. I try to be pretty chill. Life is short, and you really shouldn't stress yourself out. What's up, man? What's up, Jeff? Man, Jeff, you from Belgium? That's pretty cool. I've tried to learn German, and I go on these kicks, and I do really well, and I burn myself up. And I love you too, Dawson. Dawson. Haha, yeah, the more people need to watch. Man, you guys, I'd love to do this for a living. Do YouTube. I think it'd be pretty fun. It'd be cool if my day job turned into my hobby and my hobby turned into my day job. I'm soldering pots onto a board. Those beautiful solder joints. Y'all missed it earlier. Can I say Jaden? What's up, Jaden? Y'all missed it earlier. I was processing tubes. That was so much fun. It's probably the most boring part about this whole build. It's testing them, making sure they don't ring too much. Aw, thank you. Usually people tell me I'm ugly and they run away screaming. I love you too, dude. Life's too short not to love people. And look, just a tech tip for you guys. If you ever decide you want to do something like this for a living, make sure you get a fan. These little guys are like the best fans ever. You still get to watch the smoke, but it doesn't go in your nose and give you weird cancers. How much money would you go bald for my... I actually thought about shaving my head. I really have. Man, I go on a bike ride for a couple hours. And man, when I go, you know. I may be gone for a day. Like on the road straight for a day. And man, when I'm done, my hair ain't nothing but a knot. And so I've seriously thought about shaving it. But once I get the knot out, I like having long hair, so. OF OnlyFans. Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Smoking on that cancer pack. No, I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm not that cool. But when I'm old, like really old, I'm gonna wear a belgie. I'm not sure what that is. When I'm really old, I'm gonna smoke pipes, because I think old bikers with pipes look cool. Like I just feel like it's an accessory that should go with every Harley. Look like somebody from West Coast Choppers. There we go. My phone's going all over the place. Yeah, I guess I kind of do. We all wear bandanas. Well, and the truth is, this is the secret. I'll let y'all in. This is some insider biker culture stuff. We wear bandanas because hats look weird on our heads. What's up, Travis? You really want to know what's up? Y'all get ready for this. This is big. Exactly 1/2 of all things made of matter is up. The other half is down. Looks like a G. I guess so. Look like somebody who won't get a haircut. Y'all, it's been like years since I've got a haircut. Ah, thanks. Yeah, who needs haircuts? Screw that. Save your $10. This is what gets me. Like, I'm a dude. We don't really take that good of care of our hair. We just don't care. You know, wash it, brush it every now and then. That's it. It blows my mind how many of my lady friends will get over there, be like, "Oh, I wish my hair was like yours." Just don't do anything to it. Oh heck yeah, man! Definitely drop a sub. But yeah, man, you just don't do anything to it. Just don't put weird chemicals in it. Just wash it and go on with life, and you know you'll have nice hair. And this is what I've never understood about my lady friends. You know, they spend all this money to like make their hair look a certain way, and they hate it. I don't get it. Ah, you too, man. Oh, that's what's up. So you had a daughter and then you quit cutting your hair? That's cool. Yeah. And I've thought about. I got into an egg fight at a youth camp one time. Like for whatever reason, I was one of the counselors, and we just started fighting each other with eggs. We went to the supermarket, bought a bunch of eggs, and started throwing them at each other at the camp, not at the supermarket. And man, I had the nicest hair afterwards. Like freaking egg is the best thing for your hair. Just take it and just. And it was I wasn't even trying to. It was a very noticeable difference. Like once we all showered and got that crap off of us, we had the best hair. So aborted chickens. Oh yeah, screw the trolls. I ain't worried about them. This is the kicker about trolls. I love when they comment on my stuff. I love when they try to be rude, and I just roll with it. This is why every single comment I get on my channel boosts activity. So if I can get some troll on there to start being an idiot, I'm gonna poke them and get them to continue being an idiot, and my channel gets more views. Yeah, I've loved having long hair. Well, and most of the time, I decided to change it up a little bit for, to be on live today. But man, most of the time I just put it in a ponytail and just roll with it, and it's great. If I wear a ponytail, I don't have to do a bandana. But I think it looks cooler with a bandana. I've always liked bandanas. I used to have to wear them. I could never find welding caps that fit my head properly. And I'm not a welder. I was a machinist for a couple of years. And yeah, 50% love you and 50% hey, you're not doing nothing right. Yeah, man, I love me, and that's what matters. And if you want to jump on board with that, do it. Heck yeah, we'll do it together. Yeah, I was a machinist for a while, and I'd wear I'd cover my whole head with a bandana, and because I couldn't find welding caps, man, them chips would fly off and hit me in the head. If I didn't have something covering my head, they would just fester and burn. It was awful. Yeah, I straight feed into the trolls. I don't care. Most of those people, and really my heart breaks for them in a way. They're just hurting. Hurt people hurt people. That's the truth in life. Hurt people hurt people. And you could take it personal and join in on the toxicity, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to be different. I'm just not going to hate you back. Especially over the internet. I mean, really. Say, what's up, What's up, Jason? You got someone named Jason watching with you? But yeah, especially not over the internet, man. Somebody behind a keyboard. Dude, come on. Come on. You wouldn't say that to me in real life. Whoop-de freaking do. Some of the stuff I've heard. And this is what gets me too, like, the way YouTube works now, you can't just post nasty stuff anymore. I can go in my channel when I upload a video, I can go in and I can set it to where all comments go through, or I can set it to where the comments are moderated, and most of the time YouTube kicks it all out for me anyway, so whatever. I don't even care, because I got to install some tubes. That's what I care about. And you guys, y'all are the bomb. The ones who actually stick with me and aren't douchebags. But yeah, man, hurt people hurt people. You can't do nothing about it. Just roll with the punches. Yeah, telephone tough, guys. Oh man, dude, I'm sorry about your dad. I know that mess has gotta hurt. Well, I love you too, Beach Girl. But the neat thing is, though, the trolls generally get more attention. But most folks that interact with me are like you guys. Especially once, they realize I'm just joking around, Usually they're pretty cool. Usually the people are really friendly. And you just can't get stuck on the negativity. Why, thank you. I'll take all the subscriptions I can get. Oh, I get it, man. Shoot, I'd fight somebody over my dad. I wish somebody would talk bad about him, especially after he died. I'd go to prison. I really would. Yeah, I'm blessed, man. My dad he's killer. He worked hard all his life, works hard all of his life. He's still working. I've been trying to talk him into retiring. He's worked so hard for it. Now he's like, well, I don't know what to do next. I was like, ride that freaking bike I got you, man. That's what you do next. You spend the rest of your days on a motorcycle. Shoot. That's what I plan on doing. Well, see, that's why I need to get, my YouTube going so we can do some stuff. Um, I got a bike I'm working on right now, and later when I can get to it, once I met my quota for today, when I can get to it, I'm going to take you guys with me, and we'll work on it together, you know? If you've ever watched YouTube tutorials, it's kind of frustrating because they all look like they know what they're doing, and they do know what they're doing because they've messed it up a couple of times. And I would love to walk y'all through the process of learning how to do this stuff, because that's what I'm doing. Like motorcycles, working on bikes is my hobby. And once we get it fixed, we can get it fixed together. Once we get it fixed, man, we could take road trips. I got a 360 camera, and I'm still learning how to do this, but I got a 360 camera that we can put on my handlebars. And man, you guys can come with me on road trips. I can link the camera to my phone, do YouTube lives, and y'all can ride with me. I'm not sure how well that'll work, but we'll give it a shot. Well, I think about that quite often. Why people don't want to be positive. For one, negative emotions are more powerful, and you feel more basically with negative emotions. And so, in a weird sense, it feels better to be negative. You feel more powerful when you're negative. And two, I just don't think people have an outlet to be able to deal with it. People don't know how to deal with it. What I find is people drop this scammer when people run from their problems, they run from their feelings, they run from their problems, and whether that's with substance abuse or whatever, whatever you're trying to do to push those feelings that you don't want to feel away, well, they don't go away. They just build and they build and they build and they build. And there's part of your mind that needs to express those emotions, that needs to face those problems, and it'll sit and wait until it has the opportunity. And the opportunity often rises up towards your loved ones, or basically people that you feel like you can get away with doing it to. That's why we're always nastier to the people we love. And, this was something I had to learn in my marriage. Because me and my wife, golly, we're both firstborn children, A-type personalities. Man, you talk about a dumpster fire when we two go after each other. But, and between when we're mad, man, there's no empathy. I've never been an empathy type person, but I do care about folks. But what we've learned is, we're always the nastiest to each other. And so, unless we want a dumpster fire of a relationship, we have to be really careful not to express emotions in such a way to where we're being abusive towards each other. But instead, learn to just express how I feel. Like, for example, when I put one of these together and they don't work, I'm really mad. It makes me really mad, or at least I express the emotion as anger. When in truth, man, it's real loaded. It's really loaded because, man, it doesn't matter how many of these I do right. One goes wrong, I feel like a total failure. I feel like I should have 100% success rate. I feel like a total failure. I feel useless. I feel stupid. You name it, name it, I feel it. But the truth is, that's not it. I'm not a stupid failure just because one doesn't act right. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't even my fault. It's the manufacturer that put all these little things on there. Sometimes a trace doesn't get made or whatever. But I've learned how to express those emotions, and I've learned how to express them in the moment without being abusive. You know, from my wife's perspective, she ain't got a clue what happens in this office. She just, all she sees is I go in happy some days and I come out angry. Um, Man, she don't know what's going on. Is it her fault? Is it the kids? Is it what the heck's happened? And so as I've learned how to communicate those hard emotions without being, abusive or aggressive, man, it's been a beautiful thing. Now she knows how I really feel without experiencing that pain for herself. That's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. I mean, on an emotional level, and I'll use a physical example. If I cut my hand, and I wanted to express how terrible that made me feel, I could take a knife and cut your hand, and you know exactly what my pain is. The problem with that is, I just cut your hand. I just hurt you. And so now your source of pain isn't trying to understand how I feel, but instead wondering why the heck I just hurt you. And that's what we do verbally with each other. And golly, men and women speak two totally different languages. Two totally different languages. It sounds like English, but it's not. Oh, nuts. What did I do here? They don't put the values on these things. They put these stupid little codes. How hard is it to put How hard is it to put 50K? Come on. Whatever. Oh man, you had it rolling. I was the first kid to parents in their 20s. They might as well have been teens. That's rough though. Yeah, my wife's the first child of teen parents. Well, thank you, my man. Luke's still here. Hello, Luke's still here. I think this internet stuff should have been... I kind of wonder that too. Life seemed a lot better before everybody was connected on the internet. It's like the more connected we get online, the nastier we get, and the less connected we are in person. And it makes sense, because here, I mean, you really can say whatever you want. You can say whatever nasty thing to me you want, and I can say whatever nasty thing to you I want. And ultimately, there's no real consequence to the actions other than you two getting a little pissed at us. Do that in person. And if you poke somebody hard enough, they'll get violent with you. They'll either get violent with their words. I gotta find a... Y'all ever seen a beryllium before? I probably shouldn't mess with this, but it's pretty cool. But there's not that same connection that you have in person. And so you could pretty much say and do whatever you want online, and for the most part, there's no consequences. The issue you run into, though, is you can't get away with anything. You never will ever get away with anything. It will always come back to you. And so when you start getting rewarded in here, get those little dopamine shots for being nasty with people, it just turns you into a nasty person. And then you really won't make any meaningful connections. But when you practice loving folks, accepting people for who they are, the way they are, whoop-de-doo. I absolutely could care less if somebody believes the way I believe, agrees with me. What I care about is, how they treat me, because I'm going to do my best to treat people the way I want to be treated. Who cares if I agree with your lifestyle or not? All right, let's do this. I haven't done much with Instagram. I played with it a little bit, and haven't played with it enough to really know what I'm doing there. I'm still fairly new to this live feed stuff. I got the most experience with YouTube. And when I'm kind of cautious when it comes to live feed stuff, because man, there's so many people doing disgusting things over live feed. I mean, hey, I get it, whatever, that's the way they make their living. But I don't really want to be affiliated with that stuff, if that makes any sense. When you got 20 different live feeds that are people being vulgar and disgusting, and then here I am, I'm just, whatever brand I'm trying to create gets associated with all that. So I kind of stick to YouTube, and I was real big on Facebook Lives. I used to do Bible lessons on Facebook Lives, and man, Facebook is getting so freaking disgusting with their ads. And they're so bad about, censoring people. You say the wrong thing on Facebook and it's over with. Yeah, it's been on there for a while. It's just getting more popular. It used to be with YouTube Lives, you actually had to go to YouTube Lives, and they didn't show them in the news feed, in their feeds. But now they're starting to show them in their feeds alongside of their shorts. So you can see somebody live and then choose to click over to them and then scroll through the lives, which is pretty cool. And once my channel grows to a certain point, I think it'll be able to send tips to me. Oh man, cool dude, man. I'm thinking about doing TikTok, but there's a lot of work I got to do on TikTok to be able to have access to their live capabilities. You got to have at least 1,000 followers. And I think I got like 200. I haven't put much effort into it. Yeah, that's how I do it. Oh yeah, I got a Harley. And look, I used to be like anti-Harley. Oh my gosh, I don't care. I was wrong. I was horribly wrong. Harleys are awesome. Take everything bad you could ever say about it. It's part of the experience. Like I got a 01 Sporty, and that son of a gun has been nothing but a maintenance nightmare since day one. But I love it. I love it. It's like a bad relationship. You're like, she's smoking hot, and but she's so mean to me. I just can't stay away from her. Hondas are like those country girls, They can cook, they can clean, they're sweet. They'll tell you the truth, they'll be real with you. But, they're even sweet about that. Harleys are like bad girls. You don't know who they've been with. You don't know what they've done with other people. But boy, they're fun. Yeah, I got a Shadow. I got several bikes. I think if one of my YouTube lives, you can look around and see in my shed what all I got. I got one I'm working on pretty cool. I kind of want to make it a community project. I'm going to see if I can set up some way where people can contribute to it. And it's going to be hashtag Save Kayla the motorcycle. It's an old '81 Yamaha that this guy at my church traded for me. Traded some scooters for. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, I've gotten my Harley up that fast. And got it to 120, and I'm like, well, this is enough. Oh, thanks, man. I think bandanas should come back, you know. I think young folks should start wearing bandanas. Oh, yeah, Suzuki's are killer, man. Well, and the thing about a Harley, there's way more powerful bikes out there. And Harleys, for the most part, I would say they're 20 years behind the time when it comes to engine technology. They're behind, and they're behind for a reason. Um, at least with the older bikes. Now the new M8s, I'm not a big fan of the M8s. They're powerful, they're cool engines, but they just don't feel like the old Evos. I'm an Evo guy. Um, and the beautiful thing about Evos is you could keep them things going. You know, you could keep them going. You could fix them with basic tools, and I love them. I love them. That's what's on my Sporty is an old Evo. Well, there's the Sporty Sportster's version of the Evo. Like you can build that whole top end in a weekend. But you know, it's a give or take, because you know one bike's going to be built for certain characteristics, whereas another bike is going to fail at. But another bike's going to be built for different characteristics. It's all in what you want, you know. Just so long as it's not an Indian. Ugh. I just see Indians, and they're pretty, and they are what they are, but they scream old bougie guy. That's what they scream. That's what I see every time I see a guy on an Indian. I don't even have to go on the Autobahn. I just take it out to Highway 55, wait for a straight shot, and send it. Or I just send it. Who cares? Officer pulls me over. You know what pulled you over? Because I let you. And see, I haven't done a top test on mine. The guy who built my bike before me, everything he did was for the low end. Big sprocket on the back. He converted it over to chain, put a big sprocket, built the carburetor in such a way to where it open up real fast and just dump fuel, you know, so that way you get as much low end power as possible. Well, I don't like that. I like to cruise, and I like my power up on the top end, where you know I can maneuver through highway traffic. And so I put 46 tooth in the back. I can't remember what my front tooth is going to be. I haven't put it on yet. And you definitely feel the difference. I don't have any of the power back in the low end anymore, but you could tell that it's all up in the top end. And once that thing gets moving, it's going to scooch. Oh man, you should totally get another bike. Oh yeah, man, I can do things in traffic that a car never could, like look cool. I used to be in the cars. I just never really had the money to fix them like I wanted them. And man, when I got my first bike, it was over with. It's like, this is my life now. Sold my project car, sold my project trucks. Bye. Don't need you no more. I got a Toyota Tacoma and a Pontiac. And I'm not joking. I filled them things up in January and haven't filled them up since. That's how little I drive them. Like January. Oh man, mini bikes are where it's at. They're so much fun. If you're going to build, let me tell y'all this. Again, you obviously know how much I love my Harley. It's more fun to go fast on a slow bike than it is to go fast on a fast bike, hands down. And I don't understand what the difference is. I got a little Nighthawk and wide open with me on it. I'm a big guy, but wide open with me on it. That thing will do 63 miles an hour, hands down. But that is the funnest 63 miles an hour of your life. I don't know what the difference is, but it's just fun. And that's why I built my Harley to cruise, you know, because I got these smaller bikes that I can ride like I stole. Now the mini bike stuff, that gets me excited. The bike I'm building, Kayla, she's going to have a Predator engine on it, and I've never seen anyone do this, so I'm going to do it. It's going to have a hydrostatic system in it, so the motor's going to run a pump, a hydraulic pump, and then I'm going to have another hydraulic gear motor hooked to the back tire. So we're going to see what happens. Oh, I bet they will, man. It's insane the kind of power you can get out of them little Predator engines. And I mean, man, there's guys that spin, man, they'll pour $1,500 into one of them things. Turbocharge them, nitrous. Like, how is that thing even held together anymore, you know? I don't get it. I'm about to, though. Yeah, a friend of mine, he locally, he donated a motor to the project, and it's a 212 Predator engine you see in my videos. And I took it apart the other day on YouTube Live, and I was really surprised to see a billet flywheel, which is one of the first performance upgrades you need to do to them things. From what I understand, the stock flywheels, once you start putting some RPMs and power to it, they'll just explode. Where am I from? Mississippi. I'm about an hour south of Jackson. Dude, I would love to see this thing. Would love to see it. That would be freaking killer. Nitrous oxide on a mini bike. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some ridiculous stuff to mine. Yeah, that's kind of why I want to make it like a community project. You know, um, I'm really thinking about setting up a PO box, and having a place where you can donate to the project. And I ain't greedy, man. I make plenty of money doing what I'm doing. You know, it ain't about making money. But I'd love to have something set up to where the community can donate to the project and see what happens. Like, I just take whatever y'all give me, put it on this freaking bike, and whatever happens, happens, you know? Like some of you guys may have some like a performance billet raw piston rod laying around that you're not using, you know? I'd love to do stuff like that. And then maybe like once it's all built, we have some sort of big get together where we have some fun with it. That'd be pretty cool. Well, and what's neat is, you know, it's not technically a mini bike what I'm building, but it's not a big motorcycle either. It's just barely street legal. And because it's an 80s model, there wasn't, you know, back then they didn't have no real. Oh heck yeah, dude, that'd be cool. They didn't have no real emission standards back then, so you could do what you want with it. The goal is to be able to get this thing up to at least highway speeds. I'd like to be able to get 70 if I can. I don't know if that setup I'm trying to build will do that. Oh, that'd be killer, man. Well, and that'd be kind of neat too. Like if we get this community project thing rolling, you know, you guys could do the same thing, man. I could trail some sort of platform to where we can come together and maybe have like a community where we build bikes, and do projects, you know, and then you guys can jump on and do lives too. You can live stream your projects, and it'd be like I'd be able to watch your lives and, you know, interact with you like y'all are interacting with me. Maybe do some Zoom calls or something like that. I got to look into Patreon and see. I got a good friend of mine that uses Patreon. That's how he makes his living. And yeah, up in Jackson, Mississippi, there's a drag strip. So, and there's an airport in Jackson too. I don't know how difficult it'd be to ship a mini bike, but I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be that much. Ship that sucker down, or ride it down here. Heck yeah. Oh yeah, you know that'd be sick. That'd be sick. Trying to avoid the cops. Like if you live 1,000 miles away, 1,000 miles on a freaking mini bike. We need to take over the Cannonball Run. Oh yeah, we totally could. Well, and the big thing is, you know, troubleshooting and figuring things out, you know. I mean, I'm fairly decent at working on stuff, but there's still so much that I don't know. And just having that community of people, you know, where we can get together and share knowledge, you know. Because with building engines, there's always give or take. There's always a give or take. Whatever you're trying to do, it'll never do everything well. It'll do one thing really well, but it'll never do everything really well. So like if you want a bike that's really fast on the low end in the quarter mile, well, you need all your power on the low end. But that's a terrible bike for highway cruising. If you want a bike for highway cruising, you got to build it different. And so that's what my bike's going to be, is a highway cruiser. And in Mississippi, man, the laws are so lax when it comes to stuff like this. Man, they don't care. Like we don't even have inspections anymore. They just quit doing inspections because all the shops were just taking your $5 and slapping a sticker on it. Like, oh, it rolled in here. You're good to go. What's the point of that? I remember growing up, we had this car. It was an Oldsmobile. It was an '88 Oldsmobile Cutlass, and the CV axle was going out in it. So every time you made a right turn, it go click 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 the whole time it was turning, the whole time it was moving, and we had to get this stupid thing inspected. So we rolled into the we drove in the garage in such a way. We made a left turn in, and boy, you should have seen the look on that guy's face when we had to turn to go out because we had to make a right-hand turn to go out, and the thing went pop, 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 pop the whole way out, and he just signed the inspection sticker. Oh man, that's no good. That's always my fear with chains. They'll get you, man. They'll eat you up. Yeah, I never ride with shorts. My legs are too ugly for that anyway. My poor legs are so white they glow in the dark. Yeah, pretty much. Now, what gets me is the guys that just refuse to wear helmets. And I don't wear a full face, but golly, man, something's better than nothing. That's what happened to Indian Larry. He was a custom chopper builder. That dude would still be alive today, man. He had a good soul about him. And he used to do these stunts where he'd ride the bike standing up on the thing, on the seat. He fell off and died. What a waste. Yeah, something's better than nothing. But I mean, our skulls are so fragile. You could trip and fall and ruin your life. I say anything over running speed, you need a helmet. Hands down. Even if it's just a freaking brain bucket, you know, it's at least something. And then they look cool. Those brain buckets, that's what I ride with. They look cool. I like the way they look. Oh, that's cool. I got into skateboarding when I was a kid, and it just really wasn't nowhere. I live out in the country, so there really wasn't nothing to do. It's hard to skateboard on gravel. Yo.
I got a burger, some fries, and it was a lot.
You'll say hey to all my friends.
What do you mean, all of your friends?
My new YouTube friends.
Oh.
This
Hello,
is my precious
YouTube
sugar boo.
friends. I come bearing gifts.
Hamburger gifts. Smells good.
Oh, it's amazing. It was a lot bigger than I thought. I mean, do you want me to put it in the fridge?
Yeah, put it in the fridge.
Okay. Bye. Is it like a chat room YouTube or something?
Watch YouTube Live. Just like Facebook Live.
That is cool.
I think so.
All right, well, I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to go do my lesson at the church. I was just bringing this to you. I'm in and out today. I love you.
Love you. Well, y'all, she is the bomb. And I'm sorry for all you single fellas. I got the coolest lady in the world. Yeah, I never did get why people they don't want to wear helmets. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Well, and ultimately, a full face is better because it actually protects your head. Hey, but you're still alive, though. So ski mask is better than nothing. There's a whole lot of difference between a skateboard and a bike, too. I love how you said if I remember it correctly. That's great. Shoot. There's sometimes I wish I had a helmet in a car. Way some people drive. I tried doing that at my church. I never could quite figure it out. What makes me sick? I grew up in Oxford, Mississippi, okay? And when I moved away, then they come up, then they decided they wanted to build a skate park. Man, I'd have ate that mess up when I was a kid. Yeah, people do weird stuff. But just don't ever take it personal and roll with the punches. That's been the biggest thing I've had to learn dealing with YouTube is to not take it personal. You know, they don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know your life. They don't know anything about you. All they know is what they're looking at on the screen. And what they're looking at is going to be based off of whatever they perceive, whatever their perspective is. If they're a horrible negative person, then what they're looking like on the screen is going to be horrible and negative. If they're weird freaks, then whatever they're looking at is going to be weird freaks, and that's how they're going to interact with it. And so it ain't you, it's them. I would love to take a mini bike to a skate park. I would die. I would die a horrible, painful death, but I would have fun. Lots and lots of fun. And then you get babied in the hospital. You can't beat that. Flipped over and some guy is renting. Yeah. Well, if all our tax money would quit going into the pockets of greedy people, then we could have nice things. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't see how many bikes aren't in like. Cause I mean, you could put some super grippy tires on them things, and lose your freaking mind. Hey, I would think you could do anything on a mini bike that you could on a BMX bike. I wish there was a way I could make these words bigger so I can see them better. I'll put y'all back right here. There we go. Yeah, I can see that a whole lot better. Yeah, I wish they would have. I don't know. I've never been to any. It's not that real big of a scene here. At least none that I've really been aware of. We need more culture like that, though. The bars and pubs around where I live, you just don't want no part of them. They're ridiculous. I think so too. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a comedian. When I went to college, I'd practice on all my friends. I just never followed through. I became a machinist instead. I'm not sure. I've never heard of that. Maybe in some of the more fancier bars they'd have something like that. Well, in the beer drinking culture here is so much different than it is in other places in the world. Like, it's for me, I personally don't drink because of this. For one, I know I would quickly become an alcoholic. And for two, people just want to get slobber and drunk. And I don't get it, but they just want to get slobber and stupid drunk. It's not like in Europe where you just sit down with a drink and then go on with life. Man, here people just get ridiculous. Very rarely do I go to an event where that has alcohol and people aren't just freaking ridiculous. And then me being one of the few sober ones there, I end up having to take care of these kids because that's the way they act. Yeah, the drinking culture in the United States just sucks. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I've had a few friends that I didn't mind hanging around because they were more into the experience of the different beers and the different liquors and things like that. They wanted the experience of the flavor, how it made them feel, and not so much the intoxication of it. Like my friend John, he would be the type to go after the different exotic beers. And man, I loved hanging with him because he would drink one and that's it. And as soon as he started, if he drank one that made him feel buzzed, as soon as he felt a little buzzed, it's over with. He'd quit right then and there. But that's rarely the case. Yeah, that's the way. What tickles me is it's like they go through these stages, okay? And this is from a sober person's perspective, okay? So at first they're having fun. Like when they first start drinking, they have fun. And then they go into this I hate life phase where they're all sad and miserable. And then they get angry and hateful. And then they just pass out and throw up on themselves. But past stage one, they don't really remember anymore. Yeah, I'm good with all that. Man, there's plenty of other things to do. Like mini bikes and Harleys. Yeah, what's the point of that? Making fights over everything. I was at a bonfire. It was in my early 20s, I'm just trying to figure life out. And so I met this group of friends and they like drinking. and partying, and I'm hanging with them. And they weren't really bad folks. They were pretty awesome to hang with until they started getting drunk. And this one dude had long hair like me, and he was married. I was single. He was married. He had long hair like me, and his wife was walking out. She was really intoxicated. She was walking out to her truck, and they were both drunk. He was on the porch, and so I went out there to make sure she didn't trip and fall, because we have these trees around here called cypress, and they grow roots straight up out of the ground. They generally live near water, but they can live out of water. But anyway, where they grow, the roots go up, and they have what's called these old cypress knobs. And she was fixing to walk right through them and trip over all of them. And so I'm not going to let that happen. That's my friend. Man, I walk her out to the truck, and next thing I know, she grabs my hand and was fixing to go in. And all I have to do is cover my mouth, because I don't want to sit there and fight her husband, her drunk husband, because she made a mistake. And it's just like, if I'm not around that, I don't have to deal with that, you know? That's generally the culture, though. And I mean, it was fun watching them tear up their four-wheelers and their trucks and these mud holes that they would root up in the yard. But it was all the other crap you had to deal with. Like, let's find something else to do. Yeah. Oh, I can imagine in Ireland there's a lot of fighting that happens. My grandmother's side of the family is Irish, and boy, that temper is definitely legendary. Surprisingly, though, she was always very calm. It was everybody else around her that was a firecracker. That's probably why she was so calm. I really want to take a trip to Ireland, though, one day. Oh yeah, me too. Man, if I didn't put so much effort into controlling my temper, I'd be a firecracker. Yeah, if I ever come up, well, yeah, maybe when my YouTube kicks off. The weather's awful anywhere in July. Man, y'all should come here. It is the worst. Raining most of the week. Well, see where I'm at. I'm about 80 miles north of Hammond, Louisiana. And so it'll rain down there during this time of the year. And once it quits raining down there, the humidity comes up here. And so it's just hot and miserable. It's really nice working inside. But man, everywhere, it's awful out there. 100-degree humidity. It's like living in a sauna. My air conditioner, full blast on a hot day. It'll never get below 80 in here. But Mississippi, I think, is one of the most beautiful states. I love it, and everything here is cheap compared to the rest of the world. It would. If you're not used to it. We actually had some guys come in from Ireland. They stayed with my friend Alan. They were doing some sort of youth camp thing at his church, and they stayed with him, and they were so miserable. Like they were, it was like a soccer camp they were doing. You know, y'all call it football, we call it soccer. And so they come from Ireland to teach us how it's done, and they were miserable. They were very glad to go home. But I can imagine it'd be the same experience. Oh no, it's not, especially if you're not accustomed to this climate. I can imagine I'd have the same experience going there in the winter. Around here, the coldest I've ever seen it in Brookhaven was 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the very coldest. Like, and they quit school. They let school. They shut the schools down for that. Yeah, we call it soccer, but y'all call it, I think y'all call it football. I don't know. We call football and that never makes sense either. Like, why does Americans call football? Like, it's not even a ball. Why don't we call soccer football like the rest of the world does? Yeah, y'all be in shorts out in 17 degree. Man, people around here would lose their minds at 17 degrees. Like, they go to Walmart and they clear out the toilet paper. You know, they freak out. They buy all the milk and toilet paper. They just buy it all, and it's just cold. God help us if we ever had an actual natural disaster. But hurricanes, man, we're like, psh, who cares? Walmart's like a super center around. It's like a grocery store / buy everything kind of store. I would figure they would have. I figured they had Walmarts in Germany. They may not, though. Yeah, or they may call it something else. Oh yeah, we ain't prepared for that kind of weather at all. In December around here, it's like 70 degrees. You know, the only time it ever gets cold around here is January and February. Around the middle of January, okay, so it's just called something different. Yeah, it's the same thing, I'm sure. Around the middle of January, it starts to get kind of cold. But we're talking 40 degrees cold. Just slightly inconvenient. But the only thing about this cold, though, is it's a wet cold. Just because of the constant humidity. So it'll soak in real quick. It's not a dry cold like it is up north. But it kind of makes sense. If it never gets below freezing, the humidity is not going to fall out of the sky and stick to anything. It's just going to be there and be ridiculous. Yeah, I'd love to experience Ireland. I'd like to go to Germany too, if I could ever make time to actually learn the language. I bet he is. Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine going from LA to Ireland. That would be awful. Oh, y'all would be making fun of me though. I don't know, I'd say that. I did a youth camp. I played music at a youth camp up in Missouri last year. No, earlier this year. And it was like 17 up there, and I never put a jacket on. But the cold never really got to me. If it wasn't for the threat of snow, I would have brought my bike. Hey, I'm glad you're back. Snow. I've yet to meet a German I didn't like. Germans are cool people. That's the other side of my dad's family were German. Shoot, if I can ever get up there, I'll take you up on it. I love Italians. I had an Italian friend. He was an exchange student. His name was Giovanni. And he spoke good enough English to where people thought his Italian accent was fake. If he was faking being Italian, he did a good freaking job of it. Exactly. Who doesn't love Italians? Man, you hadn't met Cajuns yet then. Oh, man. I tried learning German, and I got so far, and then I just got too busy with life and I quit. And ever so often, I'll just get this urge, and I'll pick Duolingo back up and try to learn it again. I really need to pick up Spanish, though. That would be a little more useful around here. Oh, that's cool. They taught Latin in school, but I never had the opportunity to take it. They wanted you to have a certain level of English class. I bet that was cool with Gordon Ramsay. Now I do play guitar. I've been doing that since 2001. Man, just keep practicing. That's all it is. And this is where people get caught up. Don't worry so much about learning it. Just do it. It's not a thing you can just logically learn. You got to just do it. Teach yourself a chord, teach yourself a riff, and then just keep at it, going and going and going and going and going and going. And then all of a sudden, it'll click. Music is always plays, and that's why you see most musicians are just real emotional people. Well, it's because music is played with the emotional conscious of your mind. It's not something you really can logically do. But a lot of people try to learn it in a logical way. I used to listen to this CD full of a bunch of ladies that sung in Gaelic. I loved it. Man, their voices were so pretty. And the language is so cool. You know, I've often wondered that is Irish. I've never looked it up for myself. Is Irish an actual language of its own? Mm. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I love Gaelic music. Yeah, about the only languages we really speak here are English and Spanish. Mostly English, though. Here in the South, and you'll have a few folks who speak Cajun French. And it's its own language. It's sort of French, mixed with English, mixed with who knows what. No Portuguese that I know of. Not that I've ever met anyway. Let's really start having to do these lives more often. This has been fun. I usually just occupy while I'm working. You know, this is production work. I've done this 1,000 times. Not really too much to think about while you're doing it. Sometimes I'll call people on the phone while I'm working, or listen to music, but that's kind of getting old. I kind of wonder, though, the way English is being picked up around the world. I wonder how long it's going to be before English really becomes, you know, the universal language on Earth. From what I understand, there's actually native languages that are dying out because of English, which is kind of sad. You got a lot of stoners around you? Yeah, now that marijuana is getting legalized here in the United States, slowly and surely, state by state, man, you can't drive at all. Every time I drive on the bike to go anywhere in town, I smell somebody smoking weed. Yeah, I think only for a while, only a very small minority in England spoke Welsh. I've never actually met somebody who spoke it. Yeah, stoners are pretty chill. Yeah, me too. I've never dabbled with drugs, but I just don't like the idea of not being in control of my mental faculties. Well, a lot of languages are built off of Latin. I was surprised as I was learning German how many English words were based off of German words. Now you're talking about some stoners. I knew a guy in college. He was hell bent on trying to convince me that smoking weed made him smarter. And was hilarious. He come up to me one day. He's like, come stoned out of his gourd. And he's like, I'm gonna prove it to you. Weed makes me smarter. I figured out time travel. It was like, really? He was like, yeah, you got to speed up your molecules. Your molecules move at a certain rate, and you travel through time. I'm like, okay. I was like, well, I know how to speed your molecules up. He was like, well, how do you do that? I said, you fire. You gotta catch yourself on fire. And then he had this look I'll never forget. He was like, whoa. We've been sending wood into the future. Somewhere in the future, there's like a pile of wood thousands upon thousands of logs. That dude was hilarious. He was serious as a heart attack, too. I miss him, and I'm not joking when I tell you his legal name was Gonzo. His parents were hippies. Hands down pizza. Pizza and steak. It's my favorite food. And sweet tea is my favorite drink. And I'm not totally against marijuana usage. It has its place. The big thing about it, and too often people cross this line, it's the intention behind the use of it. You know, are you using it to drown your problems out? Are you using it to hide from who you think you really are? Or are you medicating with it? You know, what are you doing with it? It's just like a handgun. You know, I carry a gun on me every day. I have one on me right now. Every day I carry a handgun. And I've never in my life committed a crime with it. But you take the same gun and you put it in the hands of somebody else, and they'll immediately go rob a liquor store. It's all in what you do with it. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what my name means in any language. It just means me, I guess. Travis Pepperoni. Yeah. Well, and my logic is this. I'm not going to commit a crime. The only reason I carry is for my personal protection and more so the protection of those around me. Same reason the police carry. I like Travis Pepperoni. Oh yeah, I'm real careful who I get into a car with. Well, in Mississippi, again, the benefit of living in Mississippi, the laws here are so lax. You know, pretty much as long as you're not a felon, you can legally carry. If you legally bought it, you can legally carry it. Hands down. Yeah. And I mean, how many crimes get committed around cops? A cop walks into a gas station. Is somebody going to rob the gas station right then? If they do, they're pretty stupid. But if I'm in a gas station and somebody pulls a gun, robbing it, you know. Yeah. Thankfully, most of the time when I drive, I'm either riding with my wife or I'm on a motorcycle. And nobody rides with me on the bike. First thing I take off a bike is the back seat. I got a pretty good relationship with law enforcement around here too. They know me. They know I carry. Yeah, I can imagine the guns you have access to over in Ireland are old. And it probably gets harder and harder to get your hands on them too. Yeah, and here in the South too, it's a cultural thing. You know, if you see somebody carrying a gun, that's not the guy you got to worry about. Odds are, you know, he grew up hunting. Odds are that's part of his culture. His family's into weapons. You know, it's more of a cultural thing around here. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Oh man, I can imagine. Well, I'm going to tell you something else I found is a great deterrent is man, just carry a freaking stick. I got a staff I carry when I go walking. Man, ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Carry a staff, and with a little bit of training, you ain't gonna have a problem in the world. Yeah. Well, and the biggest thing, which I'm a big guy, I don't really have to worry about people looking at me and saying, "Oh, I'm going to target that person to rob." You know, I'm blessed like that. And if they do, they're popped up on some freaking drugs. But man, the biggest thing with self-defense is a deterrent. You want deterrence. You don't actually want to engage in somebody to begin with. I look like the Undertaker. What's up, Charles? Yeah, and I can imagine too, Ireland back in the day. I don't know if it's still like that, to be honest with you. You know, being in the middle of a civil war. I bet that was rough. Thanks, man. Yeah, these things keep bugs out of my eyes when I ride. And they're prescription too. That's what's cool. And it's mind-blowing to know how young some of these people were. I mean, shoot, can you imagine being? It's out in the shed. I'd have to walk way out there, and my internet will cut out. Can you imagine being 23 years old, running an empire? Man, 23 years old, I barely had life figured out. I was trying to figure out what major in college I wanted. And here this cat is 23 running a freaking empire. That's so wild. And the founding fathers in the United States were pretty much teenagers. They're 20-year-olds. Founded their own freaking country. 20-year-olds. Yeah, I know cursive. Truthfully, it's been so many years since I've written anything in cursive, I doubt I even could anymore. I can read it, but as far as writing in it. Yeah. Yeah, they quit teaching around here. They quit teaching it altogether. And it makes sense. There's really no use for it anymore. It's just a different way to write English words. It's a more fluid way to write. And it was invented for people back in the day to, pretty much joined up writing, yeah. It just lets people write faster. But it was invented before typewriters and keyboards and things like that. Man, the typewriter come around, who needs cursive anymore? And then computers and phones, shoot. I can't even remember the last time I hand wrote anything that wasn't just my name. Yeah. Yeah, my name's like the only thing that I have that I ever write in cursive. And it's more or less just a squiggle. Nobody reads that anyway. It's just the same squiggle that I sign over and over and over again. I played music at a youth camp, and they were just bent on having me sign a bunch of stuff. His kids, sign this, man, sign that, man. You're going to be famous. We want your autographs. We're worth a lot of money. Well, sadly enough, it's not. That was like 8 years ago, and sorry to let them all down. But that's where I invented my signature. Squiggle, yeah. That's what you call my signature. You ain't ever heard that? Yeah, that's what we call it around here, a squiggle. Or chicken scratch. Now what's gold is, now I'm installing an LED. Y'all ready for this wild action? Ready for this? This is so hard. Oh! We do have Amish out here. They're more North Mississippi, around Pontotoc. Around here, we have Mennonites. Amish, I don't really like interacting with them. They're not very polite to outsiders. Mennonites, however, will talk with you. And the Mennonites, too, are a little more, they're okay with technology pretty much. They'll ride in a car. They'll use electric stuff. You know, they don't just turn their nose up at it. You got any Amish around you? I might have to. The Mennonites are pretty cool. Eli Yoder, yeah, I watch him. He's like the ex-Amish that's a truck driver, isn't he? I bet Amish music is wild to listen to. Yeah, last time I seen on his YouTube channel, he made a video about his mom basically cutting ties with him, which is kind of sad. Well, and you know, I often wonder, you know, is life really that much better with technology? I mean, yeah, you get situations like here where, you know, because of technology. I mean, when would the three or four of us talking, when would we ever have the opportunity to really talk in real life? You know, unless I flew to Ireland and accidentally had the opportunity, we accidentally ran into each other, you know, we would never be able to talk. But at the same time, you know, I see so much mental illness coming from technology. And people don't know this, but mental illness is contagious. If you're around enough mentally ill people, you're going to be mentally ill, and you'll cling on to that mental illness too, simply because it becomes a part of that illness becomes a part of your culture. You know, and we just technology is hit so hard so fast. We just haven't had time to really adapt to it and catch up to it. I mean, you know, back in my lifetime, we went from computers, you know, big, huge, bulky machines that could barely do anything, to space age stuff that I can literally hold in my hand. I mean, this phone has more power than a full-on desktop did back in, you know, the Windows XP era. That's just my lifetime. And then you see these older folks. Man, if you would have had a computer technology degree from, say, the 70s, nothing you knew was going to be worth anything now. Completely useless. All right, we put you back. Sometimes I do too. Sometimes I do too, but man, money. I wish technology would have come at a pace to where we could mentally evolve to know how to use it and not abuse it. Like for example, this streaming stuff. Go on other streaming platforms, and what you're going to see is people taking their clothes off on camera for money. Really? Can't do anything else with it, you know? Oh man, in some cases even more than that. God only knows what the U.S. government has hidden. Oh yeah. Yeah, email, the internet's been out a long time. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I can remember email being such a big deal. People were like, whoa, I can send an email. Yeah, I remember sending letters to people, like writing actual letters and sending them to people. Oh, thank you. That horrible solder joint. You can't really see it on camera. Yeah. Ugh. There we go. No, this is a distortion pedal that I'm building. It's got a little chip on it, but that's just a simple op amp. This is an older version of it, but this is what it's going to be when it's done. You plug this into a 9-volt. You plug a microphone into this, and you run this to your amp, and get some killer distortion for harmonica. That's what our old board. I used to build these from scratch, and then we figured out it's so much cheaper to buy the boards pre-populated. Man, it's good talking with you too. Heck yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna keep doing this. This is pretty cool. I'm probably fixing to go myself as soon as these LEDs are put on. The machine I gotta run next is pretty loud. I'll show it to you though. That's my stripper. Put the spool of wire in. This is what they make. And it is loud. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep doing these lives. I think the views count, the watch hours count towards me being monetized. So I've had a lot of trouble trying to get views on my actual videos. And it takes work. YouTube takes work. Pretty much anything. Nothing really in particular. Atomic Potato. That has to be the coolest name I've seen all day. Atomic Potato. I love it. I love that. You are the bomb. Atomic Potato. Yeah, pretty much anything, man. I just do random crap. Nothing real specific. That's probably why I haven't done so well. But you know, it's kind of like anything else. You just do it. You just do it, and then you figure it out from there. You know, you're not going to know how to make a successful YouTube channel until you try to make a successful YouTube channel, and you make a bunch of mistakes. And some people luck out and they just hit it and take off, and everybody loves it. And some people just have to work at it. You know, and I can almost imagine how long some of these super successful channels, how hard they worked. You know, what was the behind the scenes like? It's like seeing successful musicians on stage. You know, what you don't see is the hours worth of practice and the work and how many failures and the cheap bar gigs and the birthday parties they've done, you know. Well, and ultimately, it's about entertaining people. And if you try to use YouTube as a platform, some sort of political platform, or some sort of religious platform, hang it up. It's not going to be successful if that's what you're trying to do. And man, I love my religious beliefs. I love my religion. You know, I'm gonna do this thing to the day I die. You know, I do a lot of recovery work. You know, I do Christ-based recovery work. But there's a time and a place. When I'm on stage and I can see people face to face, that's when I want to talk about that, because then I can have an interaction with them. But man, just sitting here with you guys, shooting the bull about motorcycles and mini bikes and whatever else, you know, golly, there needs to be more of that. And I've always believed that, you know, your actions speak louder than your words. You know, for the people, there's been so many people I've seen over the years in doing ministry. You know, they're always out there, man, they're trying to save people, and they're trying to, really what they're trying to do is convert people to their religion. They don't actually want to bring people to Christ. They're trying to convert them over to their religion. And they're not consciously doing that, but they're doing that. That's what they're doing. And what they're not doing is making connections. You know, if what I believe is the truth like I believe it is, then I shouldn't have to sell it. It's going to sell itself. You know, and when you look back through the history of Christianity to the very beginning, you know, the disciples didn't have to go out and strong-arm people into their beliefs. There's something about them dudes that quite literally changed the course of history. And that's what I want to send out, you know? And the big thing is how they loved people. They cared about people. They loved people. They cared about their spiritual growth, you know? I don't care if your doctrinal beliefs are different than mine. What I care about is, as far as an individual thing, what I care about, are you growing as an individual? And if your belief sets do not inspire personal growth and development, then what are they doing? What are they for? Throw them away. They're not doing you any good. We love you too, fella. I might do that one day. We might just have to have a jam session. Now, what I need to do is showcase what these things do. Y'all would get a kick out of that. Let's see if I can show you. Those mics on the wall, I built every one of them. And those pedals behind it are some of our products. And the mics I build aren't the type that you really want to sing into. They're specifically designed to be dirty and bassy, which is what harmonica players eat up. Pretty much harp players take whatever piece of equipment they have and use it wrong. And that's how they sound so good. So all I did was design it wrong from the beginning. I hope so, man. I try to be ridiculous with them. But yeah, that's always the point of my YouTube, man. Entertainment. Clean entertainment. Something that's not going to scar your freaking soul, you know. I love what Red Skelton said when he said, you know, laughter is like a medicine. Well, I believe entertainment's like that too. And if it's vulgar and ridiculous, then yeah, it's funny and entertaining, but man, I got to sleep with myself at night, you know? If I'm training my mind to be vulgar and ridiculous, then I really haven't done anything good. I haven't brought anything positive in the world. There's plenty of people doing that. Well, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and log off. My next step is cutting wires, and it's ridiculously loud, and we won't be able to talk. So, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you. And, man, feel free to jump on. I'm going to start doing these more often. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to do these more often, and, man, just whatever I'm working on, whatever I'm doing, you know, you guys can jump on and participate with me. And, man, I hope you all have a blessed day. You're loved. Somebody in this world cares about you. And I'm at least one of them, and you're looking at him. So you're not stupid. You're not a failure. And, man, y'all have a blessed day. Later.